Let's start out by making the shape for our dragon eye. Next, you're going to want to start thinking about the colors that you're going to use with your chalk pastel. Use the color wheel as your guide, but remember, the lightest color you choose should be in the center. It should get darker as you move out towards the edge of your eye. For example, I'm doing yellow, orange, and red. Yellow will be in the center of my eye, orange is going to be on the outside, and red will be on the very, very edge. Chalk pastels get dirty. You can wipe them off with a tissue or a paper towel. Don't worry about smudges. Most of them are easy to wipe away. I use the edge of the chalk when I'm coloring. Kind of color in a circular motion. You'll see the dust start to pick up along the edges. Now it's time to go one shade darker, and you can overlap those colors. Watch how I fill it in. If the chalk is bothering you, grab a tissue or paper towel and wipe your fingers as you go. With a clean finger, you're going to want to start blending. Use a circular motion and just go a little bit further out every time to start blending your light color into your medium and then to your darkest color. If you start and go in from the darkest, your dark color is going to contaminate all the space in the center. So I would have red fingerprints all up in the yellow space. When you are just about finished, before you get rid of the dust, make sure that you turn your paper away from everybody else, and then you can give it a nice little puff of air and blow the dust away from you. If you put your hand on it and try to wipe it away like an eraser, you'll just smear your chalk pastel. Now it's time to find a black piece of chalk and a white piece of chalk. We're going to use the black to do the pupil for our dragon eye, as well as some shadows. We're going to use the white chalk for some highlights. In the center of your eye, think about the placement of your pupil. What shape would you like? Any shape you want. Get creative with your shapes. I'll have an idea sheet at your table. This one, I'm going to use kind of like a crescent moon shape. I think that would complement the rounded shape of the eye and really help me achieve the three-dimensional look I'm going for. Since we were able to use all of our value inside of the eye, with the dark color on the edges and the light color in the center, I think this shape really helps make it look 3D along with the value that we used. Now I'm going to use the black chalk and outline around the eye. This is going to add a little bit of shadow and again, help with the value. You can see that I'm blending with my finger, following the same contour lines that I've already drawn. Grab a piece of white chalk and let's add some shine marks or highlights. 1 or 2 or even 3 if you're feeling wild. I like to use a circle shape for mine. Keep in mind when you're drawing them that you don't smear any chalk on your arm. Try to keep your hand above the drawing. Some people like to lay a paper towel down to protect their drawing. If you would like to make your dragon eye look extra creepy, maybe you'd like to add some blood vessels. I think of them as a tree with no leaves. I'm using a very light pressure with black chalk, but you can use any color you want. Feather light, and you won't press too hard. They need to be nice and thin. Choose a color for the skin of your dragon. I like to choose a contrasting color. I went with green. I'm going to use 2 greens and even a little yellow to blend it out and make the perfect green to complement my orangish, reddish eye. You can use a color that blends in if you don't want your eye to stand out. I use a circular motion when I'm doing all of my overlapping of chalk pastel, and I'll blend those colors out with my fingers. When I'm finished all the coloring, I'll use my black chalk to add all kinds of details. You'll see me go over those lines with my finger as well to add a little bit of shadow. I'll even go back on top of some of the spaces and shapes with a lighter color for some highlights. This process is time consuming, but I guarantee you that it's worth it. My favorite part is to go over each individual scale at the very end and outline that chalk. Again, trace it with my finger. It's going to add a little shadow just by going over it with your finger, and it really makes it look amazing.